Hi there, Tim G5TM. Nice to see you and Happy New Year to you. Hope you're keeping well amongst all the madness. Now, over the Christmas period, I haven't posted for a while, been about a month actually. So over the Christmas period and the gap between my last video and today, I've had a fairly significant birthday, and also of course it's been Christmas. So I've had one or two goodies drop my way in terms of the hobby, because it's my intention over the next few weeks to operate a lot more in terms of portable and mobile. So then, what goodies have I got? Well, each of the bits and bobs I got aren't all that expensive, to be honest, but mounted together, they give me some options in terms of how to put the antenna together and what I can do. So I've got the option to go mobile or portable. And the first thing I got was one of these. Now, you've probably seen this in a few videos from a few other people who have used them. This is known as the Slidewinder DX coil, made by M1 ECC antennas. Now, in America, in the States, of course in the UK as well, you probably come across something called the Wolf River coil. This is basically the same design. And what we have here is, well, on this end, this part of the coil screws into, it's 3/8 thread. It screws into an antenna mount. It could be a mag mount. It could be something else, which I'll show you in a minute. A couple of options we've got. But that screws in there. And then basically you put a whip or something similar at this end, again, with the same thread, okay? And what you then do to tune the antenna, you move this up or down, depending on the band. So in this case, if you're going to go to a lower band, like 40, you're probably going to use much more of the coil, so it'll be down here. And if you're going to be using, say, 20 or 15, you're going to be much further up here. I've never used it yet, but I'm really interested in using this because I've seen some good videos about this. Effectively what this is, if you're going mobile, for example, you could put this onto a permanent mount or maybe a mag mount on your car, and effectively what you've then got is a kind of manual screwdriver antenna for a much cheaper cost actually than what you do, even if you paid for an ATAS, which is probably the cheapest one of those. This is still substantially cheaper than one of them. All you got to do is basically just move this up and down to tune the antenna. And the option would be that you would take a little analyzer with you or something, and then put it on the end of the coax and just move it up and down. Maybe listen for the noise as well, the background noise getting higher when you get to a better tune. And if you so wish, people kind of mark the coil as well for certain bits. The only problem with that is if you permanently mark the coil off for whatever band it'll be on in a different deployment, it might be a different tune. But it gives you an idea of where things are. But I think you'll soon get used to it. And it will be quicker than actually just substituting one ham stick for another like I've been doing before. So I'm looking forward to using that, possibly, or that's my Discord there, possibly on a mobile setup. That's one way you can deploy these. Now, what I've also got from the same source, from M1 ECC, is this ground spike. So this goes into the ground. You then deploy this into there, and I'll show you the whip I've got in a minute, and that can go up on there as well. So effectively, this screws into the ground. Okay, this goes into the ground, this goes into there, and the whip goes up there. What you've also got with this as well is the SO239 connection here, and you've got a couple of connections for radials as well. Okay, so again, this can be used in that way. So I'm really interested in using that. Final way you can do this, which I've also got with me, is to use this mount here. So these go onto a suitable sort of mount, like some sort of post somewhere, metal post. Tighten that up, so you've got your post attached to the post. And then again, similar to before, got it upside down actually, you put the whip on here, and then you put your SO239 here. And again, you can put this on here as well, like that. But if you're using it, you can use it as a fairly close to ground mounted antenna or high up on a post somewhere, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So there we are, there's some options there which I've got. So I'm looking forward to using those. What I've also got, and let me show you this, the whip I mentioned. I've actually got two things to play with here. Oops. This one, I decided to go with the Chameleon whip. I think it's the 2.0 mill whip. Oops. This is about 10.5 to 11 feet long. And effectively, you can see, can you see there? It has the 3/8 thread connection there. And that can go again into this. And effectively what you then got is the loading coil, nice thicker, larger diameter loading coil, a good size whip on top. And this should get a pretty good tune on most bands, 40 and up. I'm not sure whether you'll get a tune on 10 or 12 with the loading coil, or whether I just need to go this and maybe run something else with it, which I'll show you in a minute. But effectively, this is what I'm going to be using. I chose the chameleon one only because it gives you the option of adding another longer whip on top. So you could add this up, get this up to about 17 or 18 feet. And it's, it's one of these that sort of slots together. So I'm going to be really interested in using one of these. And that's one I got as well from a different source to M1ECC. I think I got this from another vendor in the UK. So that's the chameleon whip. So I'll just pop that back down here for a second. What I've also gone and got, a couple more things. The other whip I've got is this. Got this from Moonraker. Now this is effectively another version of the MFJ 1979 whip. This goes up to a grand total of about 17 feet. So you can adjust this to different lengths to be a quarter wave. All right. Now you can do this directly on a mag mount. You could use one of the mounts I've used here. I could say adjust this down to about 3 or 4 meters long, say 12, 13 feet, and then use it on the Slidewinder coil. Really, really good. You can tune this basically for most bands from 20 meters up to about, looking at this, how long is this? That's going to be probably tunable to 2 meters, I'd have thought, certainly 4 meters anyway. And you just lengthen it, it's like telescopic, you see. And it's really good. It stays sort of halfway up and halfway down each particular bit, so it's really useful. And again, another option. You wouldn't want to use one of these fully like 17 feet on top of a mount on the car. That's not going to use this work, especially if you're mobile. But for it's another option, and I'll be definitely testing this out. I've forgotten the model name. I'll put it on the link below. I'm going from Moonraker in the UK, and really looking forward to testing this out. I've been spoken to Chris at Moonraker as well. He's given me the idea of using a tape measure and putting a hole for the tape measure and attaching it to the bottom, so you can have like an L-shaped dipole as well, or something like that. So really, looking forward to deploying that and trying that out. So that's another thing to try. And then the final, not quite the final thing I got. This is again from, This is again from M1ECC antennas. This is a tripod, nicely built. And this is where I can put this mount together with the coil and with either of the two whips I've shown. So this has the holes in the legs as well to deploy, and they give you the 10 stakes with it as well. So I'll be interested in using this portable. So again, that's another option which I'll be using. The final thing I got, very quickly, because I'm probably boring you all now, is I got a remote tuner. I have spoken about this before, the LDG RT/RC100 remote tuner. Now that, I've got an option or two for that. I could use that on the base of the doublet I'll be putting up here, so that it tunes the ladder line and effectively through the balun, and effectively then stops any long run of lossy coax before it gets tuned. Or I could deploy it, possibly mobile. I could chop off the length of coax from the mag mount, possibly, to maybe a few feet. Put this on the end of that, and then maybe deploy the chameleon whip, and then use it as a sort of vertical tuned at the base sort of thing, or fairly near the base anyway. And because it's a remote tuner, it'll take the outside weather, you see. So it's a real option. I could also use it with the call it the MFJ, the other whip I showed you just now from Moonraker, and put this at the base of the antenna and use it as a non-resonant vertical, which I looked at before, and I'll put the link up there for that particular video I did. So decisions, options. Really looking forward to trying it. What I'll also be getting into as well is flora and fauna, that particular thing that goes on. I'm really looking forward to getting into that. And there is a local park nearby which hasn't been activated at all. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out. and possibly a bit of Poto as well. Parks on the Air seems to be really popular these days. So plans ahead, and hopefully I'll be doing that over the next few weeks. So I hope you're looking forward to seeing that with me. Thank you for sticking with the channel, by the way. I really appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to producing some content over the next few weeks and months, and hopefully that I'll enjoy making, and hopefully you'll enjoy watching too. Thanks for watching. You take care, and we'll catch you soon. I'll put a little link for another video up there for you. All the best now. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.